Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. This is Talk with Paula. As everybody knows, I'm a huge advocate for mental health and addiction. I also want to emphasize that I am not medically trained. I am not a nurse doctor. I am just an advocate because I see the break in the system. I see many people that suffer, and I also have my own history. I have family members with history, and I have friends. So we need to do something and break this. The buzz of the graduation is upon us. I was a graduate of South Burlington High School, class of 1984, and I was voted most outspoken. Go figure. To say the least, it's been a journey and a half. I started writing a book about my life probably like 5 years ago, which someday I will finish and publish. My best friend was on here probably 3 or 4 years ago. We've been best friends since the age of 12, and she's been on my journey. Which brings me to today's guest, because I've said this about from the first day that I met my next guest, because they remind me so much of each other. They're beautiful, gifted, well-known in town, and have a history of destruction. But I don't care who you are. I really don't care who you are. We all have something from our past, some more than others. But for some reason, it just makes people talk, and in a small town especially. I've heard many stories, good or bad, and people are going to talk. I can't change that. But we can do is make a difference. Neighbors Together, when we started our group, is trying to break the stigma, because many people battle behind the scenes with mental health, addiction, loneliness. But to be an example, you have to set an example. My next guest is a very familiar face who I have so much respect for. I'm trying not to look at her because if I do, I know I'll have a moment. So I'm trying really hard. Thanks, sister. I met her during the flood. Actually, what happened is during the flood, her mama came up to me and we were chatting. And I said, we were talking and I know I needed something, a sandwich board or something. She goes, oh, my daughter has that. I had heard who Shannon was. I've never met Shannon. Shannon came into my life at a pretty intense time. Mm-hmm. She's the only one I would share anything with because I am not one that shares stuff. I don't go exploiting my life on Facebook or social media, even though I get people that bash me on social media. That's another story. But I recently spoke to Shannon just because out of concern, because I do care about her. And I think the world of her and the respect I have of her, for her. And I was shooting the shit with you. And so before I introduce you, because what I said to her is, because I am honest, I said, I need to share this with you. And she said to me, I said, do you ever want to come on and talk? And she said, absolutely. And I went, oh, wow. And my heart, oh my God, my heart just went boom, because you are exactly what I need help with, to break generation cycles, to get shit out there, to break the stigma. Because for our group, which has been amazing, Shannon's been the one that oversees a lot of the kids stuff. And I'll ask her like, hey, what do you think of, and next thing you know, she's ran with it. She's gone. That makes the team work. Because like I have said to her, there's no I in team. Yeah, we have Neighbors Together, but it's a group. Mm-hmm. We all do it. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce a very familiar face, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for talking and sharing, because you are a wonderful person. I know you have a history. I love the person that I know. Don't give a rat's ass about your history. I mean, I do give a rat's ass, but I don't, that doesn't define who you are to me. You are an amazing person. So I'm pretty much one that will make my own judgment. And you're awesome. So the floor's yours, sister. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Awesome sauce, applesauce. I love you. I guess one of the things I'd like to address today would be growing up in a small town. And I want to talk about mental health because that has been a huge part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Huge part. I did 14 years with one therapist. I've had 3 total in my life. At a very, very young age, when I was 13 years old, I was brutally raped by a senior, and I was in 7th grade. And the stigma in this town, it was such a difficult situation to go through, being, first off, a young girl. But at 13 years old, you don't know who you are.
Mm.
And it defined me. It created who I actually became in so many senses of the world. Dressing sexy. One of the things in my brain has always been since that moment, do good, be right, make people like you so they don't hurt you. And that is what has happened to me. It's literally
Hardwired.
Yeah, it's hardwired, a mantra, what have you. And to go through that at such a young age and to be in a small town. So what happened with me, I mean, it was brutal. I snuck out. I went to a party and it happened. And I came home, and I think because of how I was raised, and my parents were wonderful, I woke my parents up and told them. Now, I don't know that many women would be able to do that. Women, I say, girls,
Mm-hmm.
really. They wouldn't have been able to do that. And to go through the whole process of taking photos of all the bruises on my body. I mean, I had to be photographed, and we brought it to the police. And at 13, I didn't know right from wrong. Well, I knew right from wrong, but I didn't know the severity of it because I had never had sex before. So now, at this point, the guy got statutory rape. And he was supposed to write me a letter of apology. He didn't do that. And it all just got brushed and the town looked at me as the girl who, called rape.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that was very degrading. And even to the point where they put us in the same gym class. The school, the town, the people looked at me as like, she's fine. Touch football in the same gym class. I left that class, I walked out, and I got suspended because I left class. So,
Whoa.
yeah, it was very difficult.
Holy crap.
In the town, I felt as though they didn't believe me. I was the girl who called rape, or, he was a senior. He was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
His first name was Laurel. Just saying. Insecurities in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but not only did this affect me my entire life up until this point, it affected my sisters. Of course, I have 2 younger sisters, right? So how could that not affect them? Your sister's the bad girl. She sneaks out. She does this. She drinks. She does that. It affected my life. It affected other people's lives. And so growing up in this town, I guess my mentality, even to this day, is everybody knows what happened to me. Nobody knows what happened to me.
Exactly.
They forgot or they didn't know. But in my brain, in the forefront of my brain, everybody sees me as that girl. And so I've had 3 therapists in my life. But the last one I had, God bless her, Barbara Darshan, a psychoanalytical therapist, 14 years with this woman. She changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
She was able to get me from the broken girl to the girl that now stands up and will sit on a podcast and talk about what happened in her life.
Powerhouse.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. And I wouldn't be the person I am had that not happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what kind of mother I would have been. I have 2 beautiful, wonderful children, all grown up now, you know, and a big thing as a mother was raising them to treat women right.
Yeah.
Do not hurt people. But again, and I'll say it, my entire life has been do good, be right, make people like you so they don't hurt you. And that is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Having that as your hardwired, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, I've always felt I had to prove myself, had to look pretty. I didn't know I was pretty. I am. I'm gorgeous. Thank you.
Actually, you are.
I
You're
am.
Very beautiful.
I did not know that until probably early 30s.
Really?
Not a clue. I didn't understand how to feel pretty. I didn't understand that. I thought my entire life was okay, sex, or okay, anesthetize. I mean, I drank a lot when I was young. Drugs and alcohol were a huge part of growing up. I tell you, it was a tough go of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And however, I graduated with a 3.8. I did very well, even with all the stuff I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm a smart individual. I know that now. I did not know that then. And, you know.
You're an amazing individual.
Well, thank you kindly.
No, I mean that.
I will take that compliment.
Because when I've connected with you, obviously you've got a lot to say, but you have this aura that I'm very drawn to. And you know my personality.
I do.
I either like you or I don't.
Yeah,
I don't sugarcoat.
It's one or the other.
And I see people, myself, I feel sometimes very protected. Mm-hmm. Like, because it is a small town. And I see labels. I see people run their mouth. And I'm like, but why? Mm-hmm. Why? I don't get it. So, sorry.
No, but it's so true about being in a small town. And there's so much beauty of being in a small town. You get to know the woodchucks, the rich, the poor, everything, because you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And you find the good in all walks of life. Being in a city, you make friends with your friends' friends.
Yeah.
You don't meet people. Even though there's people everywhere, you're more guarded. In a small town, everybody knows everyone. And you get the choice. And I feel as though you make far more friends in a small town than you ever would in a city, because you really get to know the person, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I came in from, when I moved down here, it was from Middlebury area. And I was working from home, remote. I didn't really know, but I did not get a warm welcome, and I was okay with that. Right. You know what I mean? And I still don't, because I actually left my corporate job and started a cleaning service, and I fell in love with second homeowners, which are fantastic.
Wonderful.
And I've met some wonderful people in this town.
Some of the best people I know.
Met some incredible locals in this town.
Yeah.
But I've also met some chatty Cathys, pot stirrers, real angry people. And I'm like, whoa. And I remember venting to Dave, and he goes, Paula, people are like this everywhere. You just didn't see it because what you just said. Yeah. I grew up in Middlebury, and then prior to that, South Burlington. So no, I didn't. So
right.
Sorry.
No, you're no. I love this. I mean, you and I talk.
We flap all the time.
We do. Yeah. We talk, and we're all, the rapport is beautiful. Yeah, it really is. Good rapport. And I got to make a joke because, you know, I've been a bartender in this town since I was 18 years old. which is around alcohol.
Yeah.
And so the portrayal of that my entire life has been alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. And it's been a struggle.
Yeah.
I've struggled with alcohol. I don't feel as though I struggle as much anymore as I did. I had problems.
Yeah.
I certainly did. But I've been portrayed as that person because I'm pouring that. That means she's the one doing it, right? But the joke is, I mean, all of my notes are on guest checks.
That's
Always. I mean, always. I wanted to write a book, and it was every chapter would be a guest check. Seat
That's awesome.
51, seat
That's
52,
awesome.
right?
That's
The
awesome.
stories I have from being behind there, in the magical.
Yeah.
You know, it is a book. You know, the stories. It's forever. So I think one of the things with mental health and therapy, which is so important to understand, is it does not, a therapist, I guess, they're there to listen.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to guide you, right? But being able to speak out loud like this
Mm-hmm.
is what therapy is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can talk to your friends. Yes, they're not trained. But saying the words out loud is essentially what therapy is.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing that out of your mouth and speaking about it is so freaking important.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
But it's free. I mean, it's like empowering.
100%. It is.
I
it
shared,
gets it
yeah.
off your chest. It puts it out into the universe. And this isn't easy, obviously, talking about these things. But by doing this, it's making a difference in somebody else's life.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, me and kids.
I adore Auntie Shanny.
They are way cooler than adults because they haven't gotten all the perceptions in life.
And they need us.
Yes.
They need us more than ever now because I'm seeing such a break with kids and with parents, young moms trying to survive, trying to keep up with an image, trying to, oh my God. See, back when my kids were younger, there wasn't so much social media. I think there was more, my kids were born in the 90s, but there was more like, what's that stuff called? MySpace. And I didn't even start Facebook until, Christ, I was like 45 maybe. I just never got into that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. You can connect with a lot of old friends.
Right.
I feel that's a huge part of the only reason why I have social media now is because we have Neighbors Together.
Mm-hmm.
We have our hot sauce business. I love my husband to death. Dave, I love you. But my husband's a very political person and puts his stuff out there. I don't get into that.
Right.
But I feel social media has been a huge negative thing. I think what we're doing is good, but I've seen people use it and be very nasty and could really like hurt. And it's like, it sucks because I call those keyboard warriors.
Oh, I like that. And
it's like, well, that's all right because Shannon taught me a new word last week. I like it. But, you know, just... I know what we're doing is making a difference, but when Shannon said she wanted to come on and talk, I'm like, talk about taking your power back, because getting out there and being honest and breaking that image is huge, because the respect I have for you and knowing by you coming out, just even speaking, is going to change people's thoughts, is going to change people's perception, because the way you carry yourself and who you are. And I cared enough about you where I vented to you. And I was like, hey, this is the feedback I need to talk to you. She didn't say F you or was defensive. It was more like, I want to talk. I want to get it out there. And I'm like, oh. Actually, when I got off the phone with you, I cried because I was like, that's huge to me. Sorry.
No, I love it.
It's, you know, to come out and share, you know, where you're at, because it's it's a subject that people don't want to talk about, mental health and addiction, because it's two huge things that we need help with, but people don't like talking about it. But the more I talk, the more I have people reach out. And it's like, okay, obviously something's good happening of this because it's created a group. It's getting people that are in very dark places. I had a woman reach out to me. She posted something this morning and she said, every time I talk to you, you make an impact. You know why? Because I have been there and I don't sugarcoat. Excuse my F-bomb. Because I'm trying really hard to work on that. But we need to break. There's so many more people. No, you don't need to have a label on you that says, hey, I'm struggling. But I think if people really stopped and paid attention, prime example of a woman that made a really nasty video about me, she's angry. Yeah. She's hurting. And ironically, those are the people that I want to help. Which right. I right off thought of Shannon. I'm like, I wonder if Shannon has any more sunshine baskets left. Because that's what we do. We have made, which I'm so happy that you're part of this, that we're doing it together. Because you get it. And I have vented, trust me, we won't get into it now, but Shannon's been I don't talk about a couple of my personal things with anybody except my best friend. And I have confided in Shannon with some stuff, and just thank you. Sorry.
No, but thank you, Paula. No, honestly, thank you, because becoming involved in this group, Neighbors Together, and getting to know you has made me a better person. I feel so good about what we're doing. It has lifted me to a different point in my life. And
you have changed.
I have changed. There's no question. You know, I'm now 47 years old. Had I gotten involved in something like this 20 years ago, not that I had time, you know, I was a single mom. I was raising 2 boys. And back to bartending. I was able to buy my house. Yeah. I was able to own my own car, start my own business. Yeah. Raise my children. Ooh, golly, they're great. I love them. I tell you, they're spectacular. But that's the thing.
Who's the older one?
Bowen and
Who's the one
Reese.
that I met? Who goes out with what's her face?
Bowen.
He's a doll. Boy, does he love his mama.
Well, as he should.
No, but I mean, to hear him talk about you when he chatted, Shannon created the mom prom. The way he beams about you.
Yeah,
I'm like,
thank you for saying
that. That made me feel.
That means the world.
Yeah, but the way he was just so. And I'm like,
he's charismatic for sure. Yeah. He's got that.
I love that.
He's got that. You know, and at the end of the day, we can't dwell on what happened in the past, because you cannot change it. You can't predict the future. Every second in life is different. You will never have the same second in life. So when I see people get so upset about something that happened yesterday, and one of the things I'll say is, well, does it affect you today? Does it affect you this second? Because if it doesn't, you have to let go of some of that stuff. Yes, you deal with it and talk about it. And honestly, Paula and I, if anyone ever wants to talk about anything, we are very good listeners.
You're better than I am. She actually is. She's better than me, because she actually gave me a compliment a bit ago, because I can go from, and you can admit it, I go from 0 to 100 pretty quick if I'm pissed. Yeah. But my intentions are there. I just can't fathom angry people that attack. It's just a very hard thing for me to understand. And I've had it done to me a lot, but I've had to learn this.
You see it, and then you want to help them. Which is such it's a superpower you have. It really, truly is. You see somebody attack you, and you take your moment, and you process it, and then you want to help them, which I love that about you. I mean, it's the TikTok video.
Oh, my Lanta.
You said...
I didn't even know what TikTok was. I was like, what is this?
I know. I don't have it. I haven't seen it. However, your first instinct is, okay, this is someone that needs help.
Hurting. Yeah.
That is hurting. Yeah. That needs somebody to say, hey, it's going to be okay,
You're like, you're
or
right,
what
or
have
come
you.
join us or
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like,
Yes.
whoa. But
And
yeah.
you vented, but you didn't react.
And I don't publicly put stuff
No.
on display. I've
And
never
and
been
I
like that.
respect you so much. I mean, from just the friendship you and I have,
It's special.
it is. I have learned so much. I've grown. I feel good about myself, right?
Well, you should.
And people can
should.
portray that. You know, you come off as
Uh-huh.
I truly, honestly, in my soul, feel good about who I am, what we're doing.
Which is growing. High five.
Oh,
I'm so
it
psyched because
is.
it's really growing,
It's growing
and getting
fast.
out there. And then
It's
somebody
awesome.
just reached out from another thing
Yeah.
the other day, and I was like, and that made me like, I'm like, wow, we are really moving, and it makes me happy because
Yes.
our goal,
Yes.
and Shannon's going to continue talking because somebody said I have to stop interrupting.
Oh
I
no,
was like,
this is
I
a
know.
conversation.
And I'm like, this is how her and I always
Yeah.
talk. But Shannon and I remember when we were talking one time, and Shannon is huge because I know I shared with you when I first started coming here what a cute town it was.
Yeah.
And then I shared with you what Dave said. Dave goes, oh my God, this town used to do so many wonderful things, blah, blah, blah. Shannon's got an idea. She's going to do something called Light Up Ludlow. And then in the meantime, we had already started Neighbors Together. And Shannon was like, let's do it. The whole idea of our group and what we're doing is just bringing community, breaking stigmas, breaking every little thing that every other area has, and maybe being like a model town that others can follow what we're doing, because there's too many of this, that we have second homeowners that really love this community.
Yeah.
If we can collaborate, everybody. And I know not everybody feels like that. There's a lot of angry people, but that's why we're doing what we're doing. I certainly don't judge. I've gone through crap.
Yeah.
Shannon's telling you shit she's been through. Not one of us judges. The only thing I have an issue with, and Shannon will tell you, if you're a pot stirrer or Chatty Cathy, I have to ask you to leave or not be part of what we're doing, because you're missing the point. Because so many people,
it's more about them than it is.
People reach out
the
to
end
us and
goal.
want us to help them.
Right.
And confidentiality is huge.
Yes, it is.
And we have a lot of people that are so excited being involved, and it makes me happy. As it continues to grow, it's like, awesome. Okay, go.
It's beautiful. No, it is so beautiful to see too, because there are so many people reaching out. Even just delivering the sunshine baskets. Oh my God. The joy in somebody's face just to say, hey, heard you were sick. Here's the basket.
Somebody reached, they go, do you know what
my heavens.
It's the first time that they had eaten. One of the people that you dropped to, she made a homemade soup, fresh bread, tea, and something else.
Oh, we had emergency.
And she brought a beautiful basket to one gentleman.
Yes.
And he was like, oh my God. He goes,
fortune cookies.
Oh my gosh. They're fortune. If you ever want one.
I got a case.
But that's huge. And that has
huge.
made a big difference.
It truly has. And going back to like what we're doing in the community, the Light Up Ludlow, some dear friends of mine, Andy and Meredith, are donating lights to light up all of the decorative lampposts on all the bridges in town. And so, and you and I have talked about it. I feel as though Ludlow is the sleepiest ski town in the U.S.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We are not letting that happen.
Yeah,
let's light it up, because, and like Dave and I have talked, and you and I have talked, this town used to do so many cool things. There used to be alumni parades with floats. There used to, Halloween parades. There was so much going on. And
I love a lot of people that we connect with because they're on the same page.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I was talking to Kevin Barnes the other day, because he's going to teach another class.
Oh, good.
But he's so proactive with stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love
Well, that's
that,
important.
because we have a good community that wants to get involved. And that feels good because now it's happening, and that's
and
huge.
it just gives other people the platform.
Yeah.
It says, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's do I mean, the kids dance.
Oh my God.
Oh, I was tickled pink. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
spectacular moment.
I missed the play. I heard that was
Oh,
awesome.
the play was wonderful.
And we have
But seeing those kids, teaching them this, especially after COVID, because kids were taught, don't share, don't touch, don't be next to each other. Developmentally, that is going to be an issue. Well, not an issue. It just will be a different way of life.
Yeah.
Because this is what they learned.
That's why at the dance, I'm like, run, have fun,
so
scream, yell.
Awesome.
They were so sticky.
Oh, they were great.
And they had blue faces.
Yep.
And I was like, that's adorable.
It was the best time. And to see kids get excited about it, to get dressed up. Oh my heavens.
And didn't some of them arrive so cute with their little bow ties?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I couldn't even, I mean, I couldn't contain the beauty that brought. I mean, these, well, for instance, okay, so Bowen, my oldest son, he was in the last graduating class of Black River, 2020. And they didn't get a prom. They didn't get graduation. Oh, well, one person would walk in with their parents.
Yeah.
They'd get so in your entirety of your schooling, right? That is what you look forward to. Your senior trip, your prom, your this, your graduation. They didn't get it. So that mentally has switched what, that, I guess, expectation and then disappointment.
Yeah.
They can't understand that COVID was such a big thing for all of us. We didn't understand. We didn't know, holy cow, what the impact would be. But looking developmentally at children, young adults, how it affected them is going to resonate throughout, I mean,
and that's
generations.
Why I emphasize kids with you all the time, and she's Auntie Shanny to a beautiful
I can't wait to
girl.
be Grammy Shanny someday.
But she
someday
she has the beautiful she's your godchild, isn't she? Your godchild, Zoe.
Well, I'd like
Can't
to.
we call
her
her
middle
that?
name is Shannon.
Shannon.
Zoe Melani Shanny Burke.
And she's the way when you talk about her, it's like beaming.
It's everything.
But the thing is, more kids need that. And
Yeah.
I only sub at the school, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because I adore them. I love to hear, hi, Mrs. V.
Yeah.
And they're all happy. And I mean, kids need us more than ever.
You don't treat them like a child. You treat them like a human being.
And they're fun.
Oh, they are the very
Fun,
finest.
but that's what they need. And, like I emphasize, which we can get back to this, we've all had a history.
Mm-hmm.
There's parents that goes to children. It's like generation cycles. I grew up in an image family. My daughter broke that generation cycle. She's amazing. I have a son that's battled through things. He's done amazing. And it's like we're at a whole different time in this world that we got to stop the judging, the labeling, the BS, and just be.
Well,
just be.
Be a grown-up. Honestly.
Well,
and it's
and be good to kids.
And that's easy to say. It's not easy to do. To bite your tongue or to do, make an example.
And it's not a competition. Just be a decent person. But do you ever notice that?
Do good, be right.
Yeah. Just be a good person. And it doesn't take much. And
it really doesn't. And, it's one of those things my dad used to always say, what tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
And it's so simple to just tell the truth. It takes everything away, all the issues.
All the what's the word
stigma,
I want to thank you, but the image.
Yes.
I see so many angry people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Angie came on, and
Yeah.
Angie's been sober 2 years. And she talked about her alcoholism and the cloud she hung over her head for so long. And I'm proud of her. She still has a hanging cloud, but you know what? She walks proud and
Yeah.
tall, and I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
Her daughter's gone through a lot. That has been hard because it's a struggle that I see, and that's a whole different story. But again, that's one social media, everything else. I have another girlfriend that just went through a lot with her son, all over the news. People are so quick to judge, people are so quick to label, but at the end of the day, if we could stop and at least set an example with this town and just work together, be together, because that's what we're doing.
Right.
And that's the image we're already creating.
It is. We're setting an example.
That's, yeah.
We 100% are. And it's funny, like some of my cleaning girls or just a lot of people. I mean, people know me. And I'll say, chest up or tits up.
Yeah.
It gives you better posture.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you have posture,
you carry yourself.
You carry yourself
they've
to
always
an extent.
Told me I've carried myself like I own the place. My girlfriend used to say,
and
you
people
know what,
look
PA?
up to that.
She goes, she had a Southern voice. She goes, you know what, PA? She goes, the one thing about you, she goes, I just got to remind you, you are part of the universe. You are not the universe. It's just, I got brought up to always stand tall, to walk. You think I walk like that? Oh my God, you see my brother, but my son walked. Jeremiah's got kind of a strut.
Yes, he does. But it breeds confidence.
It's the way
it's
you
good
carry.
for you.
Even though I'm a big girl, I still walk like that. And my husband says that. He goes, you just got this thing. And it's just, I've always had to work through things too. A lot of people didn't know my history. And when my book comes out, you'll all know it. But the thing is, when I look at this, can I just read you a quick? It says, the first part of that, it's funny, I have a t-shirt on, it says, you couldn't handle me even if I came with instructions, which is so true. But it said, I would like you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. This person is real. She's the realest being I've ever spoken to. She is a true survivor. Will not do the work for you. She will explain her destination and her journey. Your destination you are set for yourself. She's not your car. She is the map. She is me. And that's me.
That's beautiful.
That's my goal. That's goal absolutely is gorgeous. To just, because I have gone through a lot of stuff that most people would be like, holy mother of God. But I know when I told David, when I was ready to finally go balls to the wall with everything, I wanted to come out and talk about it, but then write a book. And writing the book, this is kind of like the, what do you call it? Rough draft. It's going to be built longer. And I've had my therapist read it. Yeah. And she's like, wow. She goes, Paula, that will help people. Yeah. So I've had to walk tall and proud. Right. I am tall and proud, but I'm also a survivor because I confronted my abuser. Yeah. At a very young age.
I think it's difficult for people to...
I took my power back. That's what I was talking to you. Exactly. I told Shanny, I said, being blunt and honest, you take your power back. You do. You coming on here took your power back. Yeah. You have nothing.
And this is not an easy thing to come and talk about. I mean, in fact, I know a number of people that have gone through physical, emotional abuse. Yeah. And, one of the things, bruises go away. Words don't go away. And sometimes, in a sense of a physical or mental abuse is a very powerful thing for people. Those words stay with you forever. And that's why you writing a book, those words can stay with somebody forever. Yeah. And
I don't sugarcoat.
No.
And you and
this small town, let's speak up.
Yeah. Yes. Because, and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
There is nothing.
That's where I always say to somebody, I'm like, I've had nasty stuff slammed at me. I remember one time I was doing an event. We were going to do a soup thing. And a local woman looked at me. She goes, you know what the problem is with you? She goes, you get all the recognition while everybody else does the dirty work. And I just looked at her and I didn't say anything. I was hurt. Got in the car, went and did a drive, went back to the soup thing. And I looked at the person that said it. No, she has a lot of history. Angry. But I went, you know what? It sucks that she feels like that, because if anybody knows me, I don't take recognition.
That is the last thing you will do.
If anybody knows me, I hate pictures.
Yeah, you're in the background.
I'm always like, no, I'll do my stuff back here.
And you have what you choose to do.
I let people out there. I celebrate everybody.
Yes, you do.
I'm so proud. I wouldn't be doing what we're doing now if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for Bridget, if it wasn't for Nick, if it wasn't for Linda, if it wasn't for anybody else that's involved, because it takes all of us. Everybody has something they can bring. And as it continues to grow, it's going to keep you know what I mean?
Correct. Because there's no human being that's the same. There never will be, not even Siamese twins.
She's the one I have to bounce off from. Moving forward, I actually have decided if there's ever an issue, I'm going to have her deal with it, because I tend to be very, and I'm like, okay, Shanny doesn't do that. She's more of the, Bridget's kind of you're more of like, okay, you'll let me vent, and then you're like, all right, I'll handle this. And I'm like, okay. Because I tend to get more...
Well, in handling things too, again, this is because I am who I am now because of what has happened in my past.
Right.
I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
I want to approach things in a way that they can understand, but they understand I have compassion for the situation, whether it's good or bad.
You did something, a situation a week ago. You said something so cool, and I've never had anybody say that to me before. Give it a day.
Give it 24 hours.
Give it a day. I'm like, never had anybody. Go, Paula, just breathe. Give it a day.
Take it,
I'm like,
because your brain goes through that process. It's anger, or okay, so it's what are the 5 things of death? Right?
Anger,
denial,
anger,
sadness.
Yeah. Go through.
And then acceptance. And that really resonated with me at a young age.
Yeah.
That I believe my parents discussed that or instilled that. Giving it 24 hours gives you that time to be angry, be sad.
Yeah.
All those things. And then to come to a final, okay, I accept this is what's happened. This is how I'm going to deal with it. And when there is situations like that, for instance, and I know it was like heated and holy cow, I'm good at jumping to things. But I know if I wait that 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever it be,
give you time to,
process it
and
think about the best way to deal with it without hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to do right, be good, make people like you so they don't hurt you. And that, I think, for me has always been, okay, I don't want to hurt anybody. I want everyone to be happy. I want all of us to get along in this perfect little world. You know, my therapist used to say, Shannon, do you have your rose glasses on? Because I rosy things up. I look at life with this rose color. Oh, it's all good. We'll all be happy. Because that's what I want. That's my life.
Where I'm more like, listen, and it's a balance, because bouncing off you, it's funny because I vented to you. My brother and my husband are my 2 major confidants, and my daughter, actually, I vented to. And my daughter's very boom. She goes, Mom, good God, don't give anybody, what are you doing? Why are you out of anybody getting upset? And I'm like, because I'm trying to set an example. She goes, but you're giving people power that don't deserve it. And she goes, you need to step back and really think about how much you've done, and then look at their situation. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so that helped to bounce off stuff. And I think if we as a group continue doing what we're doing, I hope that it does make a change with a lot of people, that we don't have so many. I bought a little spoon, little pot stirrers. And I know you're going to have that, but the thing is, in a small community, you see it more. I never saw it before. And Dave goes, oh yeah, they're everywhere.
You do. But even us doing this, being a part of Neighbors Together, which is, I couldn't be happier. I've grown so much. Even if people, they see us doing this, subconsciously, it's affecting them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it may not be like, oh, well, whatever she's doing. Subconsciously, they see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it will make a difference. And in the kids.
That's huge.
I mean, they're our future.
Yeah.
They
and
really,
we have actually more spots now for the kids to do the lemonade stand.
Oh, we do. Good.
Which makes me happy. And more things are growing.
I'll try and, I talked to somebody about building another one.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's awesome.
It's that. And
the entrepreneurship. To teach children to work for money.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it makes
what a concept.
But it makes them feel good.
It makes them
And I'm
feel
noticing,
wonderful.
like, it was funny because there's a sweet girl, I can't think of her name, in Zoe's class, and such a sweet kid. And it's like, she's somebody, if you ever just see one kid you just want to literally take under your wing, because I see so much potential for her.
Yeah.
And I see potential, actually, there's a young kid, he's a young guy, I can't think of his name either. I'm bad with people. But it's like, you see the potential.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see anybody lost, especially in a small community.
It's
like,
an open palette. I mean, your children, and talking to a child,
they're cool.
Oh my heavens.
They
know so much more than
than I did.
And it's really radical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because as you get older, you know, all of life draws you down or what have you. Kids are the most amazing thing in the world.
They make me laugh.
And to let them be.
Yeah.
Or talk to them like an adult, because they're not dumb. And if you think about it, I mean, you know how you felt when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I knew everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing what my parents learned from age 16 to 21.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind, they learned so much. It wasn't that. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
And they're way smarter than it. And to give a child respect, that in turn, they give respect to another child.
Yeah.
Or someone younger than
Setting
them.
examples. That's what
it's
I
so
definitely.
Important.
There's so many kids, because I love, like I said, I love subbing, and I see everything.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? There's some amazing kids, and I don't want anybody to ever feel lost.
No.
And that's why I figured if you and I can both be blunt about our histories, then we can break it for others.
Right.
And there's no judgment. There's literally, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I still want you to finish stuff.
Oh, I guess.
But you got, like I said, in order to set an example, you have to be an example. That's what we are.
Yeah.
We're very blunt. I mean, I'm very blunt about my history, why I do what I do, why I want to continue doing what I'm doing. No shame, nothing. Just to be a good person. And it's funny because the more I chat with people, I'm finding out a lot more about people. It's like there's many people that have a history. They just don't put it on a thing and be like, hey,
right,
be compassionate. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Nobody. We all came into this world one day, the same way, and we're going to go out the same way.
Life's the journey. Death is the
but
destination.
Make it a fun journey. And it's like, especially around here being the small community, like I said with you, once I knew that you were going to come out and start chatting about what you gone through in the image, it's like, no, do you really know her, or is it the image you think you know of her? Because the person I know isn't the image. And it's like, you got a huge heart.
I do.
Huge friggin' heart.
And that's one of the things, and you and I have talked about this. You grew up, popular and beautiful and all these things. That being a pretty woman, there is an image on that, but people look down at you. There's a stigma of it, and being beautiful is not this. It's here.
Inside.
It's so huge to portray that, again, to children.
Beauty comes within. And
there's
and
a
I've been all
security
different
of
sizes.
it.
Good Lord. Yeah.
being beautiful inside,
Mhm.
oh my God, it's the best
But it
feeling you'll
feels
ever
good.
have.
Mhm.
It is. And my mom actually said something a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Neighbors Together and all the things we're
She's so
doing.
cute.
Oh,
I
she's
love her because
darling. Oh, heavens.
she'll like write on stuff we do, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Good
her and
job.
Lori.
Yeah. Lori, too.
Lori,
Yep.
thank you, Lori, because
Yep.
she's our big,
She
she
is.
definitely
She
like,
supports this.
you know,
I've been helping her move. And
yeah.
every time I see her, she's just over the moon on what we've been doing.
She's a really supportive, positive
She
person.
really
I would
is.
love her to come on sometime
Oh,
and
she'd
just
be a
chat
great one.
because
She'd be a great one
she
to
has
come
shared
on.
stuff with me, and
Yeah.
it's like, again, she has a lot of talent she could
Oh,
offer.
golly.
And
An
there's a
artist.
lot of people
Oh,
in this town.
there is.
I mean,
But this is getting people to start talking. I mean, the
Mhm.
Noah Schmidt, that was spectacular.
I've had so many
Oh
people reach
my,
out about that.
that
They
was
were like,
wonderful.
wow. And I think he's awesome.
He is. And
And I
just
love that family. I
sitting
love
here
his
and
mother.
doing this, it's not hard.
No,
It's just
I'm a
talking.
very easy
We're
person to talk to.
It is. So
I'm
back
also
back to
blunt.
my yeah, you are. Back to what my mother had said. I was talking about something and I was feeling so good about what we were doing. And she said, well, you know how they say runners, like marathon runners, they have runner's high. She goes, this is helper's high.
Yeah.
And I love this.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good way to look at
the
that.
feeling
It
that
does
I
feel good.
get from just delivering a basket, that
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a simple 10 minutes out of your life. But the
what it does,
feeling
yeah.
of helping somebody is magic. I mean, it's magic.
Yeah.
It is what we should all be doing.
And
But
it takes,
if everyone was as good as us,
yeah, no.
I mean.
But the thing is, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Instead of leaning up a counter or saying, so did you hear?
Yeah.
Did you get this?
Right.
How about take that 5 minutes of time that you're flapping negatively and make a difference?
Yeah.
Do something.
Smile.
Offer somebody
Anything.
something, because that energy you're spewing in, like have inside kind of coming out, and spewing in, that came out wrong, but it's like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
You could be I mean, ironically, my husband's mom is a very talented person. I would love her to get involved with a lot of stuff we do, with the dinners, with the you know, the cooking classes and stuff like that, because I know there's a lot of older people that stay very isolated as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to have people like that get involved, because a woman, and her name's Carol, I just found out. Great girl, Carol. She's at the laundromat. She can't hear when she talks. She does this thing. Awesome lady, but she wants to get involved.
Awesome.
To me, that's huge. It's like, doesn't take much.
Well, and they always say you're a product of your environment. Well, the environment that you, myself, Bridget, Jeanette, Linda.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
I mean, Jane.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a product of your environment. The environment that we're producing is going to help these people become that. Just do good.
The more that we continue, the more, because it's
a teaching.
The homeowners, the locals, the second homeowners, this is what I always hear. They don't want to be separate. We want to put together. Yeah. Because they love our community. That's why they purchased. Yeah. Yes, it's a beautiful town, but they also came here because of the aura. Am I right?
Yeah. No,
but
absolutely.
Now we can make it kind of go boom.
And there has been a stigmatism about the Flatlanders or such.
And love them.
I do too.
That's been my
some
biggest
of my
thing.
best friends in the world.
Yeah.
But I think that was like this old timey Vermont thing. Yeah. Oh, they're coming to take our land. Yeah. No. The things that they bring. I mean, some of them donate.
During COVID.
Oh my
not
heavens.
COVID, I'm sorry, but during
the floods.
The flood.
Yeah.
I remember one of my clients came with 10 dehumidifiers. He showed
beautiful.
up. Remember at the I don't know if you were there, but he pulled up, unloaded a bunch. There was one person that created an Amazon account and like collaborated a ton of people. Yeah. And just they ordered a ton. It was like, what do you need? What do you want? We would order it
Right.
on it and just boom.
It was unbelievable to watch how this community
And they
came
want to not
together.
be known as the
Right,
Flatlanders.
exactly.
They're part of us too.
They are.
So
They have chosen this area.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a ski resort or
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful community. And
But
it
we
can
wanna-
be
But even
so
neighbors
much
together,
better.
we want to like collaborate together
Yeah.
too with them.
I mean,
which
we've
is-
had a number of donations. I
Yeah.
mean, even for the Christmas bazaar,
yes,
you know, all the
decorations.
The decorations. Holy
yeah,
smokes,
and
alive.
you made that come.
That
yeah,
was,
that was beautiful.
I mean,
and that I forgot about that. That was Jeannie.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was Jeannie. Yep. Jeannie and Joe. And
By the way,
They're
thank
not-
you because you created the artisan show to make it look like a winter what do you want?
Wonderland.
Wonderland. Yeah,
It
which
was.
we are doing that again.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're gonna do
That
that
was
because that was
Awesome.
the proceeds for the vendors.
Right.
went right to Neighbors Together.
Yeah, which you donated because
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily a
No,
Neighbors Together
no,
thing.
it wasn't.
But
So, and I'm going to
the
do that
kindness
again
of your heart,
because
you chose
and
that.
we have an account. A lot of people ask, about that, and I say it's literally there's an account right at town.
Yeah.
Nick's creating this little thingy, like a swipe people can do,
Like a
and it
QR
will go-
code.
thank you.
Yep.
And it will go right to the account.
Oh, that's
in
great.
town.
That's
'cause
great.
I get people asking all the time, and I'm like,
Well, and
I don't
Nick is
like funds with
great
me. Yeah.
about those things.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't know how to start a QR code.
like I said,
I don't even
all
know
of
how to
us
pay
bring
on it. But
something.
yeah,
All of us bring something
correct.
to this group,
Yeah,
and
we
we
do.
all have our own
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, what else?
Oh, let's see.
Because that drives somebody goes, Paula, you got to let people finish, and I'm like, well,
Oh
Shanny-
no, this
Shanny's
is a
a different Shanny
conversation.
and I just talk.
It
so.
is. And I mean, I guess essentially, like, you don't know who you're going to become. You can't know. You can't.
Mm-mm.
You cannot know. I mean, had I moved 3 houses down my road and not purchased my family home, I would probably be a completely different mother, right? Because I raised my kids in the home I grew up in. So essentially,
Yeah, that's
mentally,
cool.
I am still that child
Yeah.
that grew up in that house. Now, had I moved another town away or
Yeah,
another continent away, I would not be who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm
Mhm.
proud of who you are.
should be.
I'm proud to work with you.
We work together.
I love this. And
You're awesome.
you just, again, you can't predict the future.
Mm-mm.
Take it second by second or minute by minute and smile
Yeah,
because you don't know what's going to happen.
right.
Bringing joy to the table,
Yeah,
it resonates with people. And I guess being a bartender I started bartending when I was 18. Whoever put me behind a bar when I was 18, decision making. Let's think about this.
yeah.
However, I was always on stage, right?
Yeah.
So I'm entertaining. I'm paying attention.
You're
and-
somebody's like soundboard too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And there's no human being that's the same. So every interaction you have to take with a grain of salt, but you also have to take with, like you said, somebody that may be a negative interaction. Okay, maybe they need some help.
Yeah.
Maybe they need a little guidance or just a smile or a joke. I love jokes.
Yeah.
Really good. Did I tell you?
Again, she taught me a dirty word.
My new career is going to be a stand-up comedian. Wait for the billboard. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. Good for you.
Right?
I couldn't do it.
Oh,
I forget.
I was always
everything.
on stage.
Oh, I love that.
I was just in Chicago. And it was,
I know.
all right.
I was like, why the hell is she going to Chicago?
Oh, that was
It's
a
windy city.
spectacular. Oh, you know why they called it the Windy City?
I have no
I
idea.
think it
I've
was
only
because
flown
the
in and
first
flown out.
newspaper. So did you catch wind of this? Did you catch wind
Oh.
of this? Isn't that cool?
I didn't know. No,
I
did
do believe
not.
so. My
'Cause the only thing
brother-in-law.
I've ever done is flown in and flown out.
Yeah, my brother-in-law and sister lived there for a long time. And I got to thank Andy, my brother-in-law. God bless him. That is why I got into therapy. He and I were sitting one evening, and it was after my ex-husband and I had split. And we were talking, and both my sister and my mother had said, maybe you should get a therapist. And, when someone's telling you should do
Yeah.
something, you're like,
Been there.
right?
Yeah.
So he and I were sitting and talking, and he is my ninja. He's awesome sauce. He looked at me and was like, I think I need a therapist. Would you be willing to go if I went? I got the phone book out, made a bunch of phone calls. The next day I had a therapist. He didn't go to therapy,
Oh, he just
but
opened
that
the door.
one suggestion in that way released all this pent up, I don't need it. I didn't like my last therapist.
Yeah.
I don't need help. By portraying it that way,
Yeah.
I need help. Would you go with me? Opened that door to who I am now. And I tell you,
Yeah.
Andy,
Honesty is huge.
he was able to look at it in a different sense. Not, you need this. Nah, I need this.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
It changed my life.
And it does. To
Mhm.
be open, to be honest is huge without hurting somebody's feelings.
Yes.
Because when I chatted
And that's not
with you,
always easy.
I chatted with you a few days ago. No,
Honesty, though.
last week.
Yeah.
And I was blunt with you.
Yes,
and
you
I was
were.
like, Shannon, this is a concern, blah, blah, blah. I didn't, to be honest with you, I was like, well, she's either going to be F you, Paula, mind your business, Paula, and it wasn't that at all.
No.
It was, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I hear
And that's
what
what
you're
got
saying.
me here.
And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
In my heart. And then I had a moment. I cried. I did pretty good today, though. I haven't
You
cried
did.
much.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? To come out and share and to be honest is taking your power back and being honest. But you're going to be helping others. And that's huge.
And my growth, this makes me grow. But people seeing that will as well in turn help them grow. You
Yeah.
know? And it's what we do every day.
Yeah.
I mean, every day is a learning experience.
And somebody asked me, are you guys, because this is funny, and you're going to laugh how I answered one question. Somebody had asked one of the girls in the group, did they even have but why does Paula do what she does? Is she like a therapist or something? She's like, no. And I'm not. I'm not a therapist. Nobody actually in our group we're not therapists or anything like that. We're real.
Mhm.
We've all been through shit.
Yeah.
We've all gone through our own journey. We're just not afraid to say it.
Correct.
But we want to help others.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could have a PhD or whatever. That's nice. Awesome. Rock on. But being real, being honest, upfront, open-minded, just helping.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I talked to a therapist, but it's funny as I was talking to Noah about that, she's actually asked me questions. Because it's like, I don't really go to her. She's like my soundboard.
Right.
And it's like I figure out the answers. I've dealt with my shit years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to go through some really intense stuff, intense therapy. And because I'm a survivor and I'm a history of abuse. And, it definitely, I had to rewire my brain,
Right.
because it is. If you grew up the way you did, you have, your history of the abuse, alcoholism, addiction. There's still stuff that you deal, but it's how your brain's hardwired.
Mm-hmm.
And to unwire, it can be scary.
It can. And hard.
Hard. People don't get that.
Yeah.
But if you have a good core and a good support, and I'm grateful I do.
Yeah.
I always say to Dave, he's the calm to my chaos, because he said to me, one of our vows, actually before we got married, he wrote something so beautiful to me. And he's like, I will be with you your whole journey.
Yeah.
Because when I first met him, I was separated for 7 years. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And then I wanted somebody to hang out with.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I think I just want to hang out with somebody. And I hung out with him and I was like, oh shit, I'm falling in love with him.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so I got a lot of shit and what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I don't sugarcoat. I have a very strong personality. You know Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's
Oh,
pretty
he's
mellow.
wonderful.
I'm the intense one. And he goes, we'll work together with
Yeah.
this. And he's been great. And I know there's
Well,
days he's like, oh my God.
But that's, I hate this word, but it's so woke of him.
Uh-huh.
You know, it really is.
Because
It-
he got brought up with alcoholism
right.
around him and
And
abuse.
I had
And it's
a
like,
wonderful family. I
yeah,
tell
I
you,
know Dave grew up in a lot
spectacular
of
family,
crap.
but there was alcohol.
Yeah.
Very prominent in my life.
Yeah.
And I guess, like you were saying with Dave, like when a trauma happens, you know, the body, the brain, how it processes it. You know, I was not only raped once, I was raped twice.
Mm-hmm.
I was kidnapped.
You've had a lot of trauma.
I've had that trauma, and my brain shut down.
Uh-huh.
I remember the day, I can't tell you what age it was, but it was in my 20s that because I had put it out of my mind, totally forgot. One day when it hit me, it felt like, you know, someone took a punch like right into the chest. It was such a strange feeling to remember that. And then all of that coming rushing in was, holy smokes. I mean, it's unbelievable how the brain can process this.
And repress stuff. And then you can just go boom.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you're able to talk about it.
Well, that's what gives you the power.
Yeah. Because if you're able to talk about it, that's so funny that you say this. Certain situations will make me trigger. And I know I've shared with you. Mm-hmm. There's, you know, a family member that reminds me a lot of my ex-husband and just the stuff that he does. And it sends these bolts through my body every so often. And I flip shit. And then I have to really stop and be like, what's going on? I'm like, it's a trigger. Mm-hmm. So, and
recognizing that is so awesome. Not everyone can do that.
No, but
it's
that's
very
when you
difficult.
Have to sit and go, whoa, and deep breathe. And it's funny.
Take that 24 hours.
Well, that's my new thing. But somebody will ask me, you know, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just give me some time to just zone. I call it my zoning.
Yeah.
My thing is something that I'm working on because I can go from zero. I just have a hard time with negative, nasty stuff. And working on that and setting an example for what we can do and continue doing that.
Let's be positive for this town, this community.
And it is. I mean, there's so many things that are going on. Shannon's going to be sharing stuff with her Light Up Ludlow she's doing. Neighbors Together is growing. You can find us on a Facebook page. What else can they do? I mean, we have a lot of stuff here and there, but it's growing.
It is.
And, you know, I'm beyond grateful that you came and talked to me today.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
I'm blessed.
I'm grateful that you, I honestly, after venting to you last week, I thought you were going to be like, you can go blow it out your fanny. And I was like, wow. And to speak so honestly about your history, that's huge. That's huge. And I have a lot of respect because a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
And when you
by us doing this can help them.
Because, you know, you want to know anything about me, I'm not shy. So please, by all means, ask me. I don't sugarcoat. I have a very strong personality. Sometimes it's a bit much, but I also, what you see is what you get. I don't pretend somebody I'm not. I talk about my history. I just know what it's like to watch people struggle and to want to just break that. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but anyways, do you have anything you want to add, sister?
No, I'm proud of doing this with you.
I'm proud.
Thank you for bringing me into this. I mean, I've grown.
Well, we both have.
Yeah.
And I thank you because, like I said, Shannon's been like a confidant. And and tonight, it's funny, I was I was posting something today. And like I said, I don't use Facebook a lot, but it was strange how stuff worked out today. I said, as graduations are upon us, I can look at both of these pictures and get flooded with memories. I wonder if I broke silence then where I would be now. They say everything happens for a reason, probably why I have a strong dislike for mean, two-faced, drama-ridden people, and grateful I have a voice and not afraid to use it and make changes. And I'll actually have a picture because I think I sent to Rebecca, I don't know, a picture. That's my senior picture. And it's like, it was great, fun, blah, 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 but just nobody knew my history. So as I close this, I want to thank you, everybody, for, watching, appreciate, what we're doing, support us. But I want to thank you for being honest and being such a huge part of this group. But coming out, sharing your stuff was huge.
Yeah.
And making changes, as we continue to grow together is awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Have a voice.
Thank you,
I love
honey.
you.
I love you. Thank you, honey. You're awesome. Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.